Paddy, Mick and Murphy. And all three go for a top job, for a CEO management job. Anyway, they're in the vestibule waiting to go in for the interview. And Mick says, listen, he says, when we go for this interview, we can't go in with Mick, Paddy and Murphy as names. He said, it's a top job, so we've got to have top names. He said, I want you two to think of a top name. He said, I've got mine. He said, I'm in first. So Mick walks in. Bloke says, can I help you? Mick says, yes, I'm here for the top job, CEO. He goes, all right, and what's your name? He goes, Marks and Spencer's. Bloke says, Marks and Spencer's? He says, you're a fucking comedian. He goes, get out. Marks and Spencer's. Anyway, Mick walks out. He says to those two, he says, one of the hardest interviews I've ever had. He said, I had a top class name. He said, and he brushed me aside. Paddy goes, I've got it. He says, leave it with me, lads. Job's mine. Paddy walks in. Bloke says, what you here for, pal? He says, CEO of the job. I want the top job. I'm here for it. He goes, all right. He says, and what's your name? He goes, W.H. Smith. Bloke goes, W.H. Smith? He said, I've just had Marks and Spencer's in. Now I've got W.H. Smith. He goes, get out. He goes, you fucking comedians, you lot. So he walks out. Paddy says to Mick, Christ, you're right. Murphy goes, leave it with me. He says, I've got it in the bag. He says, you two are amateurs. Wait till you see the professional. So they both say, good luck. So he walks in, bloke goes, what do you want? He goes, CEO job. I'm here for it. He says, I'm here for interview. He goes, all right, sit down. He says, what's your name? He goes, Ken. Bloke goes, all right, Ken. Yeah, at last. He says, Ken, someone with a bit of sense. He goes, right, we'll get the form and we'll just fill it out. Sits down. He says, right, Ken, what's your surname? He goes, Tucky Fried Chicken. See you there.